welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so grateful that you are here, and I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. Today's video is an eerie one because there is yet another urban legend or warning circulating across the internet regarding a new entity they're referring to as the woman in the shadows or the shadow woman. Now, on my channel many years ago, we dove into the truth about shadow people, what these beings are, what they could be, what the experiences have been. But this one is newly circulating, and there's a whole new backstory to what they believe this woman in shadows is. So I guess let's kind of start at where this began circulating. Now, what's interesting about this particular spirit, entity, whatever it may be, definitely let me know what you guys think by the end of this as far as what it could be. But there is a bunch of different experiences regarding this entity, we'll refer to it as far as how they approach you. Now, this is interesting because with certain spirits or entities or urban legends, more often than not, people have experiences that are in alignment with one another. But with this one, it seems as though how she presents herself to you depends on perhaps you, her mood, or where you are. One of the first stories of the shadow woman or the woman in the shadows was a young girl who had just moved out on her own. And at first, she thought she was being paranoid when she couldn't sleep in the night. Now, where she had moved to on her own was kind of in a rural, secluded area, and there wasn't a lot around her other than forestry and nature. Now, when she had told her parents that she had an eerie feeling in the night, specifically from one particular bedroom window, they thought that she was just being paranoid as she'd never lived on her own before. And, she did move somewhere secluded that could frighten anybody. But as time went on, things started getting stranger. She would hear what almost sounded like an enchantress or an enchanting voice coming from outside of the window with a scratching of nails down the window. Now, one particular night, it was exceptionally bright outside of her place. The stars were super bright, and so she decided to sleep with her bedroom blinds open because she figured it was dark enough in her space that she'd be able to see outside the window as to what could be making these sounds. Some people tried to tell her that maybe it was an animal that was walking by making some strange noises, and that animals in the wild are often mistaken for spirits or ghosts or even humans in distress. So this particular night, she sat up, and what she would see haunted her up until this day. In the middle of the night, she had fallen asleep facing the opposite direction of the window in question. All of a sudden, as per usual, she wakes up in the middle of the night hearing this enchanting singing voice. Now, she describes this singing voice as enchanting and very fairy tale-like, but not in a comforting way. There was no comfort to the sound. When she rolled over slowly, she kept her eyes closed for a few moments and opened them ever so slightly to look out the window and see a shadow woman staring in at her. She said it looked almost as though there was red or black and red glowing eyes, but nothing else could be made out other than a black shadow. Now, it wasn't like it was a person outside of the window that was making a shadow-like figure because it was bright out there, and the only shadow was this woman. She was frequently visited by this shadow woman for weeks until she finally decided to sublease her place and move elsewhere because she felt as though the more and more it was coming, the darker the melodies became, and she felt as though in her gut, soon it would be coming within her home. Now, she wasn't the only person who had experienced this shadow lady outside of their windows in the night. And the common theme, that enchanting, creepy melody that would come out of her. None of them could explain exactly what it sounded like. In fact, multiple people said, you have to hear it to understand it. It's not even a describable sound or melody. So, as I was saying, these people are seeing it outside of their windows. In fact, there were some people who saw this shadow woman outside of their cars. But the other common occurrence is seeing the shadow woman as if she's within the shadows. which also is hard to explain. I had to read multiple definitions of this and explanations of this experience to kind of get a grasp on what they're seeing. But from my understanding, people who are walking in rural areas at night or back roads or even just quiet neighborhoods will hear this same enchanting, dark, creepy, unsettling chant or song. And when they walk towards it, they would see nothing but shadows and a woman lurking within the shadows. Now, some of these people have said that the woman will ask them to come there, saying she needs to show them something. Now, none of the people's experiences that I read ever approached her and actually went into the shadows. They all described feeling as though this wasn't human. When they looked at the shadow, even though it was a woman's figure as far as an outline went, it didn't feel like it was an actual person, A, in need, or B, truly wanting to show them something. But there are others who are starting to see this shadow woman. They're at first pulled in by this enchanting, eerie song, but once they come over, it turns into blood-curdling screams and asking for help. Now, when these people look to try to see what's going on, they said that they see a womanly shadow bolting quickly back and forth. Now, some say there's no face at all, while others claim there's those red eyes, but red eyes that are almost so deep of a red they're black. That was explained like that a couple of times. Do with that what you will. I also can't fully picture it, but that is many definitions of her. Now, what is said to happen if you approach this woman? At this point, nobody really knows. There are different theories as to what the woman wants. There are many theories as to who she is. Some people believe that she suffered a tragic death and was left alone in the shadows, and that's where her spirit lives to this day. Others believe that, again, something traumatic happened to her within the bushes or within the shadows, and when they hear the screaming, that's her way of reliving that traumatic experience. We do know that at times spirits who have not crossed on have perhaps died suddenly or traumatically, or they have not accepted their death. But there are others who believe this is something very dark and sinister with a deeper and darker motive. One person went on to say, it's not a coincidence to them that everybody who's had these experiences has made the choice to not interact with the woman in the shadows or the shadow woman. They claim that perhaps others have approached her when she screamed for help or went to see who was outside of their window, and they just were never able to share that tale. But regardless, if you see a shadow woman outside of your bedroom window or your car door, or you see a woman in the shadows that doesn't feel right, do not approach. Because as I said, many are seeing her, but nobody knows what happens if you take it that step further with her. Do you think perhaps it's just other shadow people experiences? Do you think it's an urban legend that is spreading like wildfire? Do you think it's an entity, a spirit, perhaps an extraterrestrial? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. I absolutely love reading all of your guys' thoughts, opinions, and theories. Oftentimes you guys will come up with theories that never even crossed my mind, and I just absolutely love that. So make sure to comment down below. I'll be responding to as many comments as I can. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Have you seen the shadow woman, and what would you do if you did see her? Also, what do you think her motive is? Let me know. If you are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you enjoy my content, I would absolutely love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until tomorrow, I love you. Bye guys.